coffee machine's broken in the radio station. There's two coffee machines because, I'm new to the coffee world, so I like to have my coffee before, kind of during the show a little bit. Now I can't. I don't know what to do.
I know. What is this going to do to our day?
I know.
I was literally about to go get coffee right before the show, and so you just ruined the rest of my day. So I feel like we need to just DoorDash Starbucks.
Can someone pull up in a coffee truck? That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Just for like one cup of coffee. Anyway, our phone number is 877-937-1047. Text to show, text JJR, whatever you want to say, to the number 96893. We dropped our couples podcast over the weekend. We're going to do it every Sunday. The first one featured Rich and Stacy. Anybody listen to it?
I did.
I didn't get a chance.
I listened. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was fun to hear Stacy. She's so funny. I love how she kind of, I feel like, was using radio terms that I was picking up on, and it made me LOL.
She did?
Yeah.
She did? What radio terms?
At least I thought so. Or maybe not necessarily radio terms, but things that I've learned being in radio that I noticed Stacy doing. Like
theology?
Like not wanting to go backwards. You know what I mean? Things like that. And I just thought it was cute.
I have 8 minutes left. I enjoyed it tremendously.
I thought she did an awesome job. I teed her up a lot because she has lots to say. And when we were done, I'm like, see, people don't know the side of you. And she's like, well, I really only tell you these things. I'm like, well, then that's good that you can say it on a microphone and people can get to know your personality.
That's what she said. She was like, now I have a platform to tell all of my
settle down.
Well, she was really funny. There's a lot of really funny things she said, but I was telling Rich this morning, I said, it was a great podcast. I said, but it was almost like he was the host and interviewing her. I wanted them to get, to get into whatever. At one point when somebody asked the question to her, why did you get married a second time? And when she starts talking about Rich, I got all emotional. I thought, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Then he just goes on to the next question. I wanted to hear from him now. You know what I mean? Because it was so awesome. I almost think you're uncomfortable because she was complimenting you too much.
You're lying. Get out.
But it was really, I LOL'd out loud a couple times.
Oh, that's good.
When you you didn't know anything about her.
Well, her work is mysterious and important.
Anyway, it's on if you go to John, Jane, Rich on demand, you can hear that podcast. Now, which one of us is next? Did we decide?
I don't know if we've decided.
We didn't decide, but I said I would be down to do it.
Okay, so then your podcast with Kadeem will be next Sunday at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, very cool.
And if people have questions, they should send us.
Yeah, we'll post all the stuff. We'll post on Facebook and Instagram when to ask Peyton and Kadeem all the questions.
Yeah, what I kind of think I'm going to do is I'm going to make one of those little highlight things on Instagram on our story, so you can just go tap on it and ask all the questions under each couple.
Good. I noticed something yesterday. If I'm right, over the weekend, Peyton went to the same restaurant that Rich went to and the different restaurant that I went to. In fact, yesterday, I think you and I went to the same restaurant the same day, within minutes of each other, I think.
Really?
Because I even asked my wife, I said, how many of these restaurants are in town? She was, I think one. And I go, oh, then I think Peyton and I, we must have just missed each other. I'm talking about true food.
Oh my gosh, no way, because literally I was with my brother and my friend Angel, and she goes, hey, that guy looks like John Jay. And I looked, and I was like, that's not John Jay.
Did it walk funny? If I was walking funny and I was...
No, it was the guy that I saw was definitely not you, so I think she saw you, and I saw a different guy.
What time were you there?
1:15.
Yeah, we were there. How long were you there for?
An hour.
Yeah. Were you outside or inside?
Inside, right by the door.
I was outside.
Okay.
In the patio.
Yeah, she probably did see you.
Wow.
That's crazy. You guys were in the same place at the same time?
That's actually really weird.
Okay, so get this. So we're in this little patio area, my wife and I. And obviously we have the Love Pup Foundation. We're huge dog lovers. There were two, I'm going to call them Karens. The best way you can think of an image in your head of a Karen. Okay, there were two of them. They both had little dogs sitting next to them. And both dogs, for no reason, would be barking. And would bark periodically, but quickly, like a lot. And these women would just laugh and ignore the barking. And within a few minutes, their whole side of the patio cleared out. People left because of them. And then I noticed that they were rude to the wait staff. They were so rude. So I had the same server that they had. And when she came over to me, I said, can I ask you, are those two women being really rude to you? And she was like, I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, they were so, I saw at one point, the lady went to go, the server went to go ask one of these women a question, and she was texting on her phone, and she didn't even look up until she was done. It was an uncomfortable 20, 25 seconds.
Yikes.
It was just rude. And then Blake at some point, my wife, who was one of the nicest people in the world, said, you need to film that. You need to film them right now. So I filmed them, and then I was like, do I post this? Like, I want to post it because I filmed them, and their dogs are barking, and then the one lady, Blake said it looks like she was waving, but to me it looks like she's covering her face. She's going like this, right? Because she doesn't, and I want to post and go, do you know these two women? Shame on them. Shame.
And you didn't yet?
I didn't yet because I don't want to, all I need is everybody to make these comments. That's not very love up. That's what I would get. You know what I mean?
I mean, it isn't.
But I also want to alert everybody. Now, the other restaurant is both you guys went to Elefante.
You were at Elefante?
I was at Elefante.
I was
Friday.
at Elefante. Friday. I was there Friday.
What time?
Early, like 5:36, somewhere
so
around
you
there.
just missed me because I left at like 4.
Oh, you went early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is a scene. I don't know what it's like in the middle of the day, but that is the most scene restaurant since Toca Madera, since Maple and Ash.
Oh, is it? I've
Yeah.
never been to Toca, so I don't have a comparison for that. But when I walked in, it was still sunshine. It was a beautiful day on Friday, and they had like kind of the windows were open, so you got all of the fresh air. There's a lot of foot traffic. It wasn't crazy busy in there, but we sat at the bar. And I had an excellent experience. I had a wonderful lavender espresso martini.
Did you get the, my wife went there in the middle of the day, and it was the place to be seen, she said. And she says there's this, like, bread thing they bring out that's
Yes.
unbelievable.
With whipped eggplant.
Yes, that thing. Is that the thing? And that thing,
really good.
I gave you a heads up, too, when you go.
Yeah.
I was like, make sure you...
If you don't even touch the whipped eggplant, the bread thing is like pizza dough, but it's all fluffy, and it's almost like somewhere in the middle of a quesadilla and a pancake in pizza dough. It's really good.
Yum.
If you're like on the bread train. But what we saw when we were there are a ton of what looked like first dates. And that's totally a place you would go because the bar is giant where you can sit around the bar and then all the tables around the bar. And I feel like I saw maybe 3 first dates go okay and 1 totally not go okay.
Really?
Where they were talking, introduced each other's big smiles, and then about 15 minutes in, they both just had their heads in their phones, and then they were out within 25 minutes of meeting. It was insane.
Listen, ladies, if you can get a man to take you to Elefante on a first date, you better keep him. That place was nice and it was
3 of them did.
pricey.
3 of them did. But the food was good, though. It was a great place to watch people. That's for sure.
So, quick recap. The Couples Podcast is the same place where you get this podcast, John, Jane, Rich, on demand. Kyle, what's coming up with 3 things you need to know?
It was incredibly eerie seeing the videos on social media this weekend of the 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Thailand. I don't know if you guys saw it. The buildings wobbling, like literally buildings with swimming pools on top and the water just splashing down, buildings that were tied together by bridges and the bridges just cracking and crushing down, entire buildings collapsing. And now we're hearing at least 2,056 people are dead, more than 3,900 are injured. Hundreds are still missing, although the United States Geological Survey estimates the final death toll could surpass 10,000 people.
Oh, my.
Based on early modeling, but they say that could take weeks to figure out because they're still searching.
Heartbreaking.
I know.
You know, I
it's
saw
so
the
sad.
video of the pool water on the
Me
roof, and I thought that was just an old... I didn't know there was a new earthquake.
Yeah.
I had no idea till right now.
Yeah, it's really sad. Like seeing all the videos, it's so devastating. There's going to be a lot of heartbreak for sure. Amazon has been kind of sneaky, you guys. They just disabled 2 of their key privacy features in the Alexa smart speakers, meaning literally everything you say will be sent to Amazon. So they say all recordings are being sent to the cloud for processing, and choosing to not save the recordings will actually disable your personalization features. They say once on the cloud, your recordings can be saved or deleted. It's kind of just up in the air right now.
You know, I'm sure what they're doing is they've got whatever AI they're using going through everything you say so they can pitch more stuff at you.
They're claiming that it's because they need it to make their voice ID personalization feature more effective, but it doesn't seem like that would be needed for that. So just be aware when you're around your Alexa speakers that they're like, it's for sure. Like we always kind of knew they were sending everything anyways, but you could kind of turn your mic off. It doesn't matter now. Like everything you say around that speaker is being sent. So this Saturday is kind of a big day. I don't, you guys, if you remember back in January, an April 5th deadline was set for TikTok to find an American buyer or it will be banned here in the United States. Now, President Trump says a deal for ByteDance to sell TikTok will come before Saturday, although we don't know necessarily who is making that deal. The private equity firm Blackstone has shown interest in making an investment in the app, but as of right now, nobody knows, or I'm sure they know, the public does not know who will be buying TikTok.
Black Rock, are you talking about? Or Black Stone is different?
Blackstone, apparently, is
okay.
the one in the article that I read. I wouldn't be surprised if BlackRock was interested.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Does that mean we're going to go through the same thing? Like,
It could be.
it's going to be gone again?
Yeah,
Oh,
for some reason, the sale does not go through by this Saturday.
Wow.
We may go through the exact
I
same
just
thing.
started posting original content
I
online
know.
yesterday.
I know. So we'll wait. It's going to be a big week for TikTok if they do end up selling. And that's 3 things you need to know.
The text line, you text JJR and whatever you want to say to us to the number 96893. Here's a text here from a 520 number. Every time I hear Kyle on War of the Roses, I'm always super impressed at her skills to sell the roses. She would be good at sales too. Love the show, you guys. She's right. Every time you sell, it's like, oh yeah, of course, I'll take those roses. Yes, of course.
Thanks.
Peyton, what's the vibe for horoscopes today?
Well, I'm going to tell each zodiac sign how you act when you're just in a mood. One of those days.
Hi, Caitlin. What's your sign? Good morning.
Good morning. My sign is Aries.
Okay, Aries, we are in Aries season, and if it's your birthday today, you share a birthday with Jack Antonoff. But for Aries, when you're in a mood, you're just the explosive one. You're mad, and everyone knows it. You do not do that whole bottling it up thing. Your anger, it gets loud, immediate, and usually includes slamming something down. And the worst part about all of it, though, you Aries, you're over it in like 5 minutes, but everyone else around you is like traumatized from what they just witnessed.
That is pretty accurate, although I've gotten better. My husband has kind of helped tone me down a bit.
Good.
All right, Caitlin. Have a great day.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
You too.
Hi, Rachel. What's your sign?
Hi, good morning. I am a Capricorn.
Okay, Capricorns, when it comes to you being just in a mood, you're the kind of person that's just work through it. Instead of dealing with your feelings, you distract yourself with work or errands or literally anything productive. You'd rather die than let those emotions mess up your routine. But once that one person pushes you too far, it's over for them. You see red.
Yep, that's true.
Yep, totally.
Bye, Rachel. Have a great day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day.
What's up, Shanae?
What's up? Good morning.
Good morning, Shanae the Gemini.
All right, Geminis, when you are in a mood, you are just the passive-aggressive roaster. You say you're fine, but the sarcasm is through the roof. You start low-key roasting everyone in your path, and people start wondering if they should be offended or scared. You're ranting to one friend while sending 10 tweets about it.
You know, that is absolute.
Yeah, I already know. Be careful if you're passing a Gemini. You might catch a stray.
Oh, goodness. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too. Hi, November.
Hi, good morning.
November the Taurus.
Taurus, you guys are the silent treatment expert when you are in a mood, but you won't say it. Like, you're just going to be extra slow to respond. You're going to cancel plans, and suddenly you become a professional at ignoring everybody's texts. You eventually talk about it, but only after you've treated yourself to an expensive meal and taken a nap.
Well, that's true. That's true, Peyton. I gotta have my nap and I gotta have my meal.
Yeah, and then you're good. You're back to being happy.
And then I'm okay.
Exactly.
Then I'll be happy again.
That's most of us.
All right.
All right, November.
Yeah, feed me and I'm good.
I mean, that sounds good right now, a nap and a meal.
All right. Bye, November. Hi, Harper.
Hi, I'm a Scorpio.
All right, Harper, I got you for Scorpio. So when you're just in a bad mood, you are the one that's secretly plotting on everyone. Like, no one knows when you're really mad until it's too late. You keep it all bottled up. You're acting normal and chill and cool, but deep down, you're already planning your revenge, Harper. And when you finally snap, good luck to whoever caused it.
That's so true.
Yeah, I know. You Scorpios, you're spicy.
All right, Harper. Have a great day.
You too, thank you.
Bye. What do you have for Libra?
Libra, Kyle, you're the I swear I'm fine liar. When you're in a mood, you hate confrontation, so you're going to say I'm fine while low-key throwing shade. You'll start to act extra nice, like too nice, smiling through the pain, being a little too agreeable, and then you go and you call your best friend and you rant to them about how mad you actually are.
It's probably very true.
How about Pisces?
Richie, my Pisces, you are the everything is personal one. When you are upset, it's never just one thing. Suddenly, everything hurts your feelings, and you're deep in your main character moment. You low-key want people to notice, but if they actually start asking what's wrong, you'll say nothing, and then you'll just go cry about it later.
Hard to deny.
Yeah.
Leo.
Leos, when we are in a mood, Leos, we are the one where everyone needs to know everything. We will not suffer in silence. We will text the group chat. We will post a cryptic Insta story. And we will dramatically sigh every 5 minutes. If nobody asks a Leo, we will bring it up ourselves because our pain must be acknowledged. And this is so true.
That is 100% true.
Everybody's going to hear me out.
Peyton's come to me with problems before. I feel like I give her the solution. Then I'm like, why'd you tell everybody else about your problem? I thought we got it fixed.
I know.
I love cryptic posts on Twitter and stuff where you treat you like, ooh, what's going on with that person?
But like, still, just spill the tea. Just
Even
tell
when
us.
it's like, when it's good news, like when someone will be like, big things coming.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, okay. How about Virgo?
Virgos, you are the overthinker when you are in a mood. You get mad, but instead of expressing it, you make a mental list of everything that has ever annoyed you about that person. You replay conversations word for word. You overanalyze every little thing, and you consider sending that paragraph text, but instead, you just go silent.
Not even close.
If we didn't get to your sign there, I'll post on our website, johnjanerich.com. Kiss FM, John J. Rich, time for stacks and hacks. I have stacks information. Rich has life hacks. Let's see. This is a pretty good way to ensure a good old-fashioned haunting. A couple in Florida were caught doing it on a grave at a local cemetery.
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
There's
Twisted.
nothing sexy about that
I
to
think
me.
that the ghost would follow you.
Yeah. Probably like some weird fetish.
I saw this story over the weekend, too. A woman is suing American Airlines after allegedly being forced to sit next to a man who pleasured himself for an hour
Ew.
while crew members
Yeah, I
refused to
saw
do anything
that.
about that. How
Why
is
would
that-
they not do anything about it?
how's
Like,
that?
that blows my mind.
You guys remember the Energizer Bunny ad campaign?
Yeah.
It was famous. Anyway, apparently, Energizer's sales went down during that ad campaign.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I heard the same thing about the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Remember that? Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah, but both those things they did for years and years. So if it was
Yeah.
going down, why would they continue?
I heard the same thing for Got Milk campaign, too.
Didn't
Like,
work?
It didn't really do anything. But we all know the campaigns, but it didn't make them sell more product. So someone pulled 2,000 flyers to find the top 10 things that make us feel uneasy or uncomfortable while flying. I'll go from 10 to number 1. Long waits for the bathroom. The cabin is too hot or too cold. Not getting to pick your seat. People constantly walking up and down the aisles. The crew is rude is number 6. The bathrooms are gross is number 5. Flight delays, that's number 4. I think they should be higher. Loud adults is number 3. Turbulence is number 2. And the number 1 thing that makes us feel uneasy when flying, anyone? Any guesses?
I think it should be the temperature one.
No,
So
it's-
I have no guess.
It's got to be when people push their seat back and don't ask you.
Not in the top
What's
10.
worse than turbulence? Like, that's pretty uncomfortable.
Screaming children, number 1. Screaming
Well,
children.
kids get a bad rap. They're just little babies. They don't. Their air pressure's tough on them.
Now, they also looked at the top things that put us at ease on flights. The top 5 are a nice crew, choosing your own seat, good in-flight entertainment, space to get up and stretch, and outlets to charge your electronics.
Smooth landing is good too.
In March Madness stuff, the Final Four is made up all number 1 seeds, Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Houston. For the women, South Carolina and UCLA punched their tickets last night. Last 2 spots will be decided tonight. Are you watching that, Peyton?
Yeah, I'm repping TCU today, baby.
Let's go.
Texas Christian. Let's go. We got to beat Texas, which worries me, but we're going to win. It's going to be good.
We're gonna win. You're taking
Yes,
ownership.
We're taking win. Number 3, Madison Connor. That's my girl. Okay, love her. So go root for her and go watch TCU. Okay, we need all the good vibes.
In a poll of 2,000 people, they asked, what TV house would most Americans want to live in? Think of all the TV shows you've watched.
I would want to live in Hannah Montana's house because she's on the beach in Malibu and has this insane walk-in closet.
Sweet life of Zach and Cody. Got the
In a
top
hotel.
penthouse.
Yep.
Neither one of those is the top 20.
Like, the first one that comes to my mind is like the Full House house.
That's number 1.
Just
Hey,
seems
now.
like it's filled with love.
John Jay, how about the Menendez house? Is that on there?
Well, you know
That's
what?
nice.
As I read this list, number 19 on the list would
Yeah.
be my number 1. Now that I read the list, I can't. As soon as I say it, I think Kyle, you'll agree with me. Logan Roy's New York City penthouse.
yeah, that's pretty
From
good.
Six-
Yeah, for
Succession.
going luxury,
Yeah.
for sure.
There's the Buyer's Cabin in Hawkins, Indiana, from Stranger Things. Carrie Bradshaw's New York City apartment, Sex in the City. Jerry's apartment in Seinfeld.
That's just places you know. You wouldn't want to live there.
Sheldon and Leonard's L.A. apartment in The Big Bang Theory. Walter White's house in Albuquerque is number 9. Tony Soprano's house is number 8.
That's nice.
The Brady house and the Brady Bunch is number 6. The Bridgerton mansion in London.
Oh, yeah, I would
From
like
Bridgerton.
That
that.
would be a good one.
Monica's purple apartment in New York City is number 4. Blanche's Miami home in Golden Girls. Number 2 is the Banks mansion in Bel Air from Fresh Prince of
How
Bel
did we
Air.
miss that?
Yeah.
And number 1 is the Tanners from Full House. Kyle got it because of all the love. What do you got for life hacks, Rich?
I don't think, John Jay, you're a very patient microwave guy, right?
I'm not. I can't. I will eat something that's cold.
Well, that's what happens. So when you set your microwave on high, like most of us do, and go just 1 minute, they say 90% of people who use the microwave set it on high and put it on for 1 minute. But you get cold tasting food in the middle because it doesn't cook it all the way. And no matter what you do, if you add water, none of that works. Put a paper towel over it, that doesn't work. Instead of tasting half-cooked cold in the middle, don't put your microwave on high for 1 minute. Put it on medium or low for 2 minutes, and it will actually cook your food. Now, I know, John Jay, you were not going to do that. You're not waiting 2 minutes for your food.
I can't.
I know that you cannot. But you should try it because it will work. And if you need to see that hack because you can't remember half the speed for 2 minutes, it's all up at johnjayandrich.com.
And you said I cannot. My wife and I were listening to the couples podcast yesterday.
That's Stacey's thing. I cannot.
Stacey's got this thing, I cannot. And Blake didn't get it.
Oh, she didn't get
I
it?
had to explain it to her. And
I
once
cannot with this.
But because you kind of have to when you explain it, I kind of had to use a hand motion, like Stanley Cups. But she does this whole thing on Stanley Cups, which is great, your wife.
Yeah.
But it's like, I had to go, I cannot. And then she was like, oh, okay, I get it. Weird. But that's how people talk.
That's
Anyway.
what'll happen in the house where I'll say something and she's bothered by it. She's like, stop. I cannot.
But that's a cool segment you did on there. So that's the our couples podcast, Rich and Stacey, dropped yesterday. And you can find it at John Jay and Rich on demand, where you hear this podcast. Shoot us a text JJR, whatever's on your mind, the number 96893. You can also call us right now. Jump on there with us, 877-937-1047. Had this moment this weekend. My son Jake was home from college, and my son Dutch was home. He's in high school, and he had a bunch of his friends over, and Jake had a bunch of his friends over, right? So Jake and his friends they took the ping pong table and put it in the front yard, or Dutch's friends had the ping pong table in the front yard, and then Jake's friends came over, they all played ping pong. I think there was a drinking game they were playing, not beer pong, another one. Then they went in the backyard and they started hooping, and they were playing basketball forever. So it got dark, and they were hooping. They were playing basketball for hours. And then Blake comes in. She goes in the backyard. She comes in, and she's just bawling her brains out, crying. I'm like, as a husband, when I see you cry, I'm like, oh, God, what just happened? I go, what? What's going on? I'm just going to miss this. It's like the different levels of parenting, I remember struggling to have kids. Now we have kids, and now the last one's going to go away in a couple months. And it was just such a weird thing. So she called Dutch in, and then she hugged Dutch for like 20 minutes. Then she called Jake in. She hugged Jake for like 20 minutes. And I was like, they got to go be with their friends. Like at the moment, all their friends are there, and she's hugging them all and crying. It's such a
good mom.
It's such an emotional thing, man. It was crazy. But one of the things we do with our kids is follow them on the Life 360 app, right? Which is really cool. You guys ever get on that?
I don't.
I find my friends.
That's what I use too.
Oh.
I don't have the app, but I know of the app. But usually it's just me and Scott share our location on Google Maps.
Mm-hmm.
So I can know where he is if I need to. But you guys know my dad's been staying in town, and he actually has the app, just downloaded it with my stepmom. For whatever reason, their Find My Friends wasn't working. And so my nephew hooked them up with Life 360 and was like, this is great. It gives you more information. You'll really enjoy it. So over the weekend, my dad went golfing with Scott. And so I was hanging out with my stepmom, and she was like, hey, do you know anything about the Life 360 app? And I'm like, I'm not super familiar with it, but why? She's like, I just looked at your dad's location, and they're supposed to be golfing, right? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, they're not. And I was like, okay, show me. So she pulls up the map on her phone, and it shows my dad's location at this house. And she's like, whose house would he be at? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who lives there. And so then I'm like, hold on a second. He's with Scott. So let me just look at Scott's location. And so I pull up my map, and it shows a little fishbowl because, his nickname's Fish. So he's a fishbowl on my map. And so I pull it up and I'm like, oh, that's weird. He's also at that house. And we're like, what are they doing? What's going on? And then I zoom out on the map and it's a house like right by the golf course. And I was like, oh, well, it's right by the golf course. It was like, I don't know, maybe they lost their ball in someone's yard or something like
so
that.
there was a house on the golf course. Like they were there.
Yeah. But
Like the person in the house would go, who the hell are these two guys in my yard?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
For a split second, we were like, did they take a little extracurricular activity? Like, what are they doing? Are they doing something shady? And then you got to zoom out, and I'm like, okay. And so afterwards, I asked Scott, I was like, hey, did you guys lose a ball in someone's yard earlier today? And he's like, no. I'm like, not at all. Were you ever super near a home? And he's like, not really. I'm like, he's like, there's houses on the golf course lining it, but we were never really close to one. And I'm like, interesting.
Well, sometimes we use that, and sometimes it'll say my kids are home, but it'll say they're at the gym, which is about a block away. You know what I mean? So it's they've been at this gym for a long time. Well, they're actually home.
So that app's a big liar.
There's some things that are wrong with the app. I remember my wife was out of town with my son Kemp in Dallas at a basketball tournament. So Jake, my oldest son, and I, we went to go. We were at Ocean 44, father and son dinner. Ocean 44 used to be a movie theater. And before it was Ocean 44. And my wife calls me from Dallas and she's like, it looks like Jake's been parked behind this movie theater for an hour and a half. What do you think he's doing in the movie theater? And I picture him turning tricks for some Johns. And I'm like, oh my God. I go, let me look. And I look, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm with him. And I'm like, wait a minute. I go, we're at Ocean 44. It used to be the movie theater. And you need to update your app.
Yes.
And then another time, she called and I was with Jake again, and we were eating at a sushi place by my house. And she's like, why are you guys at Pizza Hut? And I was like, Pizza Hut? I go, we're having sushi. She's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, so the waitress heard us. And the waitress was like, this used to be a Pizza Hut. It still hadn't been updated.
Yeah, I immediately thought of you, John Jay, and I told my son, I was like, yeah, I guess you need to be careful because it's probably not accurate all the time.
You think you got a good bust, and it's just nothing. That's what I would be so frustrated.
The thing about that app, too, that's really cool, and I don't know if what's the one you have? Find My Phone has this, but it tells you how fast they're driving. It tells you when they use their phone while they were driving. It tells you all their high speed. It tells you all kinds of stuff on the app. So, so I'll say to Dutch, I'll be like, dude, you were on your phone driving and you texted 5 times. He's like, I didn't text. And he's like, I changed the music, right? Because it can tell when you pick up your phone. And
really?
do yeah, it's pretty cool.
I would hate that.
That's too much
as
like
a parent, that's a great thing to know.
But
Very
I
Black
would
Mirror.
not ever in a million years download that app because I wouldn't want my parents to know what I'm doing on the roads. I wouldn't want them to know I'm on my phone. I wouldn't want them to know my exact location ever.
You wait till you have kids and you'll be downloading that app.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Surveillance is tricky.
Right, yeah.
Get out of my business. What are you so concerned about me for?
That's like the ultimate helicopter mom app, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, have you guys watched the #1 movie that's on Netflix right now? Life List? You guys watch that? Oh, you guys got to watch it.
What is it about?
It's, oh my God, what's her name? She's been on the show before. We hung out with her in LA. Oh my God, what's her name? The star. She has a hit song too. I can't remember her name. Can you look it up for me?
What's it called?
It's called Life List. So it stars, which is weird because you brought up this actress's name last week, Rich, Connie Britton.
Yeah. I started to watch the previews. It looks interesting, but I just didn't.
So it's this woman who dies, and she runs a successful skincare company. And at the funeral, or when she dies, when they do the eulogy, they read the will. The daughter, who's her marketing director, gets fired, and the woman gives the company to her daughter-in-law. Then the lawyer gives the daughter. God, what is her name?
Sophia Carson.
She
She's
gives
in Descendants.
Huh?
She's in Descendants.
Yes, she gives Sophia Carson. This is the weird part I never did understand. A DVD, and the DVD says it's there's 30 DVDs, and the DVD says, I found this list you made when you were 10 of these life goals. You have to hit all these goals in a year. Do these things in a year. And after you accomplish each one, read Moby Dick, she wrote. After you read Moby Dick, you prove it to the lawyer. He's going to give you a new DVD. The new DVD is a message from me to you. Because I feel like you've lost your spark. So she has to do it's a romantic comedy, and you can see where it's going, but it's just kind of really fun. And what's funny is
they look kind of serious in the previews.
There's a part where she finds out that her biological, when I'm watching it, I'm like, why would they cast Connie Britton as the mom. And Sophie, they look nothing alike. And then you see the dad. And then the dad, I'm like, okay, he kind of looks like the dad. But then you find out that dad, is he really her dad? And then the actor that plays her dad looks just like it would be her real dad. Anyway, it's number one on Netflix right
casting,
now. Number one on
Netflix.
movies on Netflix. And I really like it. I think you guys would really like it.
I watched that robot one. What's that called again?
Electric State?
Yeah.
And?
Oh, man, it's bad.
I kind of liked it.
I loved it. I
no.
really enjoyed that
I mean,
watch.
the robots look cool, but the plot is kind of it's bad.
It literally is like Hunger Games and Stranger Things combined.
Chris Pratt is just Star-Lord, just a little more cranky. That's all.
What'd you think of The Studio with Seth Rogen?
I did like The Studio a lot. I watched the first episode. I think 2 episodes are out.
There's
right?
only 2 out.
Yeah, so I've seen them both then.
First episode was good. Second episode I thought sucked.
Yeah, the second one I was
out.
drifting a little bit, but the first one is great, and I really love all of the cameos. But the best, if you miss S. Creek, Catherine O'Hara's in there, and I think she doesn't play anything like her character, but she's so good when she's on TV because she has these mental breakdowns that are just epic.
That's on Apple TV.
It's so good.
On Hulu, there's a stand-up comedian, Bill Burr. He's pretty funny. In fact, if you guys get a chance to watch it, there's some funny things about this show in there.
I was offended by some of it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, well, I saw part of it. We talking about sad guys at Guitar Center.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's like you want to see.
Well, if you got that far, that's almost 3/4 of the way through.
Like, if you want to see sad men just walking to a Guitar Center, I'm like, hey, that's my mothership.
He also talks about guys that are trying to hook up with younger girls. And he's like, why would you do that? He goes, this guy, he's like 50, he's in his 50s. He's like, now, for me, the equivalent of hooking up with younger girls is 8 hours of sleep. I'd rather have 8 hours of sleep. Amanda, good morning.
Hi there. My name is Amanda, calling from Washington, and I have a funny Life 360 story.
Okay.
Not mine, it's my sister-in-law's. So she checks that constantly, and her son, Connor, is going to University of Texas in Austin. And she checks it and sees where he's at. Well, then she checks it, probably a lot sooner than she should, and sees he's in the same spot. And for like 2 hours, it showed him in the same spot. And he's not answering his cell. He's not answering his dad's phone call. So now she's starting to get pretty concerned. Well, she then gets a call from him, and him and about 25 of his closest buddies decided to see how many could fit in the elevator at the dorm. And needless to say, it was designed for, I think, 12. And, yeah, there were 26 college.
And they're all just stuck in an elevator?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Listening on the iHeartRadio app for free. Robbie.
Yes, John Jay. I am calling to ask for you to throw me a prayer today.
Sure.
My 42-year son and I listen to your show every day. He had a seizure yesterday, has no brain activity, and we're taking him off life support today.
Oh, no.
And I would sure love a prayer.
Yeah.
Sure. Here's a prayer for you, Robbie. So sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless.
Thank you.
Pray.
Bye-bye.
God, it's so sad.
So sad.
Kiss FM, John T. Rich. I don't know why I associate this with Kyle, what I'm about to play for you right now. But in Macon, Georgia, they went for the Kazoo world record. They had 1,780 people turn out to break the world record for the world's largest kazoo ensemble.
Wow, I wonder what jam they played.
It wasn't enough.
What?
They need 5,190 people.
Oh.
That was set in 2011. But I do have, you want to know what jam they played?
Yes.
Here, you can hear it.
Is everybody ready?
What's that, Black Crows?
Yeah. Hard to handle.
Do you know that there was a #1 hit song that featured a kazoo solo?
What?
Do you guys know that?
No.
Rich, I'm surprised you don't know this. #1 song featuring a kazoo solo. It was by Ringo Starr, You're 16.
You're 16.
You're 16. You're beautiful. And you're mine.
1973. No idea.
Okay.
I had no idea.
It only happened once ever. That's it.
Okay, I'm going to play a little game. We go around the room. Little kid or drunk adult. Oh, do you have oh, that's a live. We have to do that live, huh?
Yes, we do.
Okay, ready? It's Monday.
And JJ's got a game for you.
All right, we all do dumb things. Sometimes we do when we're little kids. Other times we're drunk adults. Can you tell the difference? Peyton, you go first.
Okay, so I was caught trying to cook pancakes on the sidewalk.
Little kid.
Kyle?
Drunk adult.
You think a drunk adult?
Yeah. It's like, you hear these things your whole life, and then you're drunk. You're like, let's see if it actually happened that way.
Let's cook a pancake on the sidewalk. Rich, what do you think?
Little kid she said caught.
Yep, that's what made me think it too.
I was a drunk adult.
What?
I thought the sidewalk heat would cook them. I even brought syrup and all of that jazz. Spoiler alert, it didn't work, and the cops were called because I looked sus as F.
What do they
just
bust you
making pancakes,
for?
yeah.
Science. You're just doing science.
A little kid or drunk adult?
Got into a shouting match with a statue.
Peyton?
Drunk adult.
Drunk adult.
Rich?
Little kid.
I was a very little kid. I thought it was a really quiet person being rude. But then I realized it wasn't going to respond.
Little kid or drunk adult?
I once tried to cook an entire frozen pizza without taking it out of the box and set the kitchen on fire.
Little kid.
Drunk adult.
Drunk adult.
I was a little kid. I thought you could cook an entire pizza while still in the box. I mean, I had no idea. And I was only like 7 years old, but somehow I still managed to get the oven on. And I burned down part of my parents' kitchen, and they still remind me of this story to this day.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Little kid or drunk adult?
I crapped my pants while wearing a Harry Potter costume.
Drunk adult.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult. I crapped my pants at a company Halloween party. It was very embarrassing. What made it worse was I was not wearing underwear, so it was quite visible.
Ew.
I was known through the office as Harry Pooper from there on.
That is appropriate, and that should never stop.
I would quit my job if I did that.
So bad. Every time someone you call like, oh no.
Why does Harry Potter not wear underwear? That does not come up in the books or the films.
It's a good question, but I don't want to know the answer.
After he plays, I got to tell a quick story about yesterday.
I locked myself in a laundromat washer.
Little kid or drunk adult?
Little kid.
Kyle?
Yeah, little kid.
Drunk adult.
I was a drunk adult. My friends dared me to lock myself in one of those big washers. The problem was they were so drunk, they forgot I was in there. Night ended with me in the ER and my friends arrested.
Wow.
And that's my game because it's Monday.
And I just got a game for you.
So the guy, the Harry Potter pooper, just reminded me of something. My wife and I and my kids, we were in Hawaii for spring break, and we were visiting my son Kemp. And when I travel, it's a 6-hour flight. I don't like to wear shorts on an airplane. I think I read somewhere, don't ever wear shorts on an airplane.
Really?
Yeah, because whatever, the germs and whatever. So I just don't want to get sick, and I don't want whatever it is, right? So I wore jeans. But I was on Southwest, and it was so uncomfortable, and I was in the window seat, and my jeans were too tight. And I was like, and then Blake's wearing these like yoga pants, and she's like, you got to get yourself some travel pants. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to get those right here that you have. And she got they're Lululemon pants. And when you go to Lululemon, there's sweats, and then there's these pants. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the pants?
The ABC pants?
Yeah, the ABC pants. So we go there yesterday, and it just so happens that I happened to put on a pair of shorts yesterday that I never, ever, ever wear. Like they already have the underwear in them, right? You know what I'm talking about? It's like a swimsuit. Mm-hmm. So when we get to Lululemon, and I look at a couple of pairs of pants, when I go to try them on, all of a sudden I'm naked. And I got to believe there's a rule against that. They should have a sign, right? Because all of a sudden I'm like, I don't want to put these on if someone else was naked trying them on.
I feel like that's an unspoken rule of trying on.
Unspoken rule,
yeah.
Right? So I put them on, I try them on, and I'm kind of on the fence. They fit, but I'm like, okay. And I take them off, and I'm like, I just got to buy these because my junk is all over them now.
That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do, but I'm also wondering why you didn't just wear underwear with the shorts that had the built-in underwear.
Well, then it's double underwear. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well,
that's uncomfortable.
But is okay.
The pants won't fit really
Why would you
well
wear
on those
two
shorts.
underwear?
I would never wear
because you knew you were going to try stuff
Oh
on.
no, I didn't know. It was we went to lunch, and then I was like, "Oh, there's the Lululemon there. Let's go to Lululemon."
Okay.
So like I would never wear double underwear. So then I tried on the second pair of pants, right? And again, they fit okay, but the guilt that I was naked, that everything's rubbing against them.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they say wash your clothes before you wear them.
I
You
know.
don't know.
Anyway, I bought 2 pairs of pants yesterday that I probably would have never worn. Like I was on the fence about it because of Lululemon guilt. And then the guy goes, "Hey, because they're expensive, those pants."
Yeah, they are.
"Hey, you spent so much money, you get a free belt bag."
Nice.
Right? And I'm like, "What's that?" You guys know what a belt bag is?
Yeah, it's like the fanny
It's like a
pack.
freaking fanny pack. Why don't you just call it a fanny pack?
Because it's a new
belt bag sounds cooler.
And then
way more metro.
Blake's like, "That's a crossbody. You can wear it as a crossbody." I'm like, "I'm not going to wear a Lululemon belt bag, fanny pack, or crossbody."
Why? You would look very in touch.
Because I
with the
have a Nike fanny pack and a Nike crossbody that I've yet to figure out how to
Where
wear.
is it?
I wore it here for a while.
That's right, yeah.
Remember? In fact,
Yeah.
I made a big announcement about it.
Yeah, you did. It was a big deal.
All right. Anyway, can I address the Morgan Wallen stuff? Do you guys watch Morgan Wallen on Saturday Night Live?
I only saw the clip of him leaving after the SNL show, and everyone was like, why was he leaving so abruptly? Like, usually the host and the musical guest, they interact on stage when the show ends.
Right. The credits roll and they stand there, go, "Thank you, had a great time," and then they like wave, and he like said thank you to the host, and he gets up and he walks out, and there's all this like backlash, and to me it looks like he just didn't know.
I thought we were done. We're done.
Yeah, that's
here.
what it looks like to me. He like you see him gets off the stage and walks off, and that's it. Like he's like, "All right, see you later."
That's what he's saying. He's saying during rehearsal, this is what we would do. We would come on this way and leave that way.
So I went to his Instagram, and if you go to his most recent post, whatever it is, his post is like, let's say 3 weeks old, but the comments are like, "You suck, you left you," and just they bagging on him for leaving early. It was like, it looked like a total mistake to me, but what do I know?
I just don't think like Morgan Wallen is like really a fan favorite with all of the stuff he's been in the last couple of years.
He still sells out arenas, though.
Well, I know, but of course there's going to be those haters because they feel that way.
How about Jessica Simpson? Why is she in the news?
Because she had an unconventional way of helping herself out. You know, she like is trying to make her way back into music, put an album out, and she was talking with some friends about a weird thing that she realized she was doing to help her vocal cords.
They're like, "What are you drinking?" Because it's this Chinese herb thing. And I'm like, "I don't know." And my vocal coach told me to drink it. And they Googled the ingredients and snakes.
Oh, is it like a tea?
It's like a honey. So if you want a good vocal, you got to drink snake.
Not really sure.
That's gross.
Why you would just, I mean, I tried to put myself in her shoes. Like, would you not ask what you were, like, what was in the beverage before you start drinking, like, randomly?
I don't know if I would. If it's like Chinese herbal, you would just go, "Oh, it's herbal."
Oh, I'm guilty with that too.
Yeah.
If you hand me a drink, I'm probably going to drink it.
I mean, honey.
I mean, you're
I
probably
guess.
right. You're probably right. If it's coming from your vocal coach, it's like, this is going to help you, you'd be like, "Oh, okay." And then afterwards, you're like, "Oh, wow."
How about Sydney Sweeney? What's up with her?
Okay, you know, last week we were talking about how it was odd that she had taken down the pictures of her fiance and they'd postponed their wedding. And then over the weekend, she attended Glenn Powell's sister's wedding. And everyone's like,
with Glenn Powell?
well, they were both there, but apparently they didn't go together. And everyone close to her is saying, like, don't freak out. This doesn't necessarily mean like her and Glenn Powell are together. They became very close when they were filming that movie together. And so Sydney Sweeney knows his family and is good friends with his sister. So she was invited to the wedding with another girlfriend. She had RSVP'd months ago with her girlfriend to this wedding. And I'm like, interesting. So then how long, like, why, if you get invited to this guy who you were rumored to like have this romance with on set, why wouldn't you RSVP with your fiance? Why would you RSVP with your friend? You know?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was even more interesting that that's the story they were pushing out to squash the Glenn Powell romance resurgence rumors.
I can't tell you how many times I've lied to people about the men that my friends are dating because I don't want anybody to know. Come on, they're dating and they're cute and I love it.
Okay, let's get into Kanye.
Okay, so he did an interview with DJ Academics, and it was I don't know if there is a normal Kanye interview anymore. He showed up wearing literally like a KKK-inspired outfit. It was like a black robe with like, you know, the cone head thing, like, and a swastika necklace.
But even when you speak about Kim, people might be like, well, See you with the bust down chain too, man.
Bro, took that Nazi chain and made it bust, but I wanted to wear it with this, but the part comes down a little bit too low. I got a white leather one that falls right in the perfect place.
Really?
Yeah.
You got this made specifically?
Absolutely. The leather, the KKK.
Yeah. So he then went on to say he wanted to wear it in public, but then he figured that they would actually put him in a hospital because of his outfit. So that's why he didn't wear it out in public. I'm like, you're still wearing it on a taped interview. Like, people are going to see that you were wearing
It's
it.
for the public.
It got even more shocking, though, because the topic of his ex-wife, you know, he's been talking about how controlling Kim Kardashian was, her family, and all that stuff. That topic came up, and he revealed apparently he didn't even want kids with Kim.
But even when you speak about Kim, people might be like, well, you picked her. You put yourself in that.
Absolutely, I did. That was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan.
Honestly, like hearing these, just like it fills my body with rage. Like to know that Kanye willingly went into that wearing an outfit that simulates the KKK as a black man. You have black children that are going to be able to see this. Like that makes me sick to my stomach.
What's wrong with him right now, man?
He's seriously mentally disturbed. I'm speechless right now.
To me, it's like, it's sad because I think he's just trying to get more attention through it, his defiance, trying to show that like he's uncancelable or whatever. But it's also disturbing because he's doubling down on everything. You guys remember like the mean stuff he said about Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids, right? And he was asked about that.
But you offended Jay-Z. Kim. You know what I'm saying? Put it like this. Let's take it to money. How much money do you think Jay-Z make off my catalog versus what I make off it? Next subject.
I don't know. How much?
We don't know. Probably a lot, which is why he decided to bring it up. But it's just like, it's
That's your
almost
argument for like calling out somebody's family?
I don't like he needs family to come help him right now because he's not grounded.
If Donda were around, none of this would be happening.
I want to do that. You know, I want to ask a question like that, and then before anyone can answer, just say next subject.
Next subject.
Like, you want chicken or steak? Next subject. Like the way you just said next subject, you couldn't even think about it. I was like, what? Next subject.